This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Oh, isn't that hair fabulous? Broadcasting live from the new hotspot on Fort Myers Beach. Wahoo Willies! It's time for another exciting award-winning episode of Beach Talk Radio. Here are your humble hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah, baby. How about that, Andy Hyatt? Yeah. Thank you all for coming to Wahoo Willies. This could be the biggest show we've had, audience we've had so far. You're losing your windscreen there, dear. Your microphone's on. You're good. You're good to go.
What is with these? We've got the big chairs today.
I know. I
leaned over to put my phone down. I was like, nope, I'm going to go right on over here.
No, I thought we'd we're getting big, dear. We're getting big. It's stinky big. We're getting bigger and bigger. We need bigger chairs. So we have a great.
I like these chairs because they have a back on them, and my back is killing me because you made me ride. He says, let's go on a nice, Friday night. Friday night. What are most people doing Friday night? They're relaxing, He's like, let's go on. Yeah, exactly. Let's go on a bike ride. Okay, let's, go on a nice bike ride. And I know it's not going to be leisurely, but we get out of there and the wind is like 450 miles an hour. True. No lie there. And he's like pedaling so fast, and I'm out of the saddle, like trying to keep up.
When I turn around and I see you so close, I'm like, oh, no way. She's way too close. She's getting in my draft, so she's not really getting a workout. So I want to make sure that
smarter than
that I'm at least 10 feet, 20 feet ahead of her, so she gets some kind of workout. But then, we get home and we relax. We talk about the show. If we had a camera on what we talked about before the show actually went on, we'd have millions and millions of people watching because it's not talking about the show. It's arguing about the show because,
we'd have to put that behind a paywall because your language is abhorrent.
We talk about the guests and more people want to come on and I don't, that sounded like I'm bragging, but when people want to come on, it's like,
so unlike you.
You have to be entertaining. If you're not going to be entertaining, like the people get bored. I look out in the audience and if they're looking at their phones, the guest sucks. It's not us. The guest sucks. It's like, it's total. Why would you come to the show and look at your phone? You don't need to watch the show on Facebook when you're here. You can watch the show.
So for the guests today, that is your litmus test there. If people start looking at the phone, you're not funny enough or entertaining enough.
And she got on my case about a guest that was talking about, I think he was talking about the sailboat thing, the sailboat event. And she walked away. She wasn't even part of the show. She walked away. So I was trying to, pull some stuff out of them and make it entertaining. And by that time, I probably had 4 or 5 beers. So.
The show is from 11 to 12, and sometimes you stretch it.
It's
try
from
to
11 to 12-ish. That's what I tell people, 11 to 12-ish. By the way, if you didn't see the newsletter yesterday, there's going to be a new restaurant at the corner coming over the bridge. Daniel Clarkson, if you remember Daniel, he came on and danced a little jig right here.
No, his wedding dance, for which we have to do that today, too.
Yeah. For once, we're not going to a funeral today. We're actually going to a wedding.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yes. So we'll be busting right out of here.
Congratulations to your nephew, our nephew Keith, and his soon-to-be betrothed wife, Catherine.
Your dad's watching from Orlando, Florida.
I talked to my dad yesterday. Yeah.
So we have a great show lined up for today, and we want to get right to it. Enough about us, but let's bring on Councilman John King. Has some presentations he wants to make to several organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, first year Councilman John King.
I thought you were going to say First Lady John King.
Yeah. And John has brought some envelopes with him. And come on down, John. Grab a microphone. Tell us, No, you take 3. Yeah, 3. Stay in order, please. 3. And your wife.
And your lovely wife.
Yes, I didn't know your wife was coming on. Chris, very nice.
In the shot.
Okay.
Get her in the shot. There she is.
There we go. Yeah, we need a little.
Yeah,
now this
can you
this
turn
is
it just a little
entertainment.
bit?
Now, go ahead. Perfect.
There we go.
John, why are you here?
We got to crap you out.
Well, I wanted to get on before Adam Botana,
Oh,
the young,
yeah, I
young,
did.
young
Oh boy, started off. I
Hey,
feel so
hey.
bad for him already.
young whippersnapper that he is.
He's got broad shoulders. He can
He'll
take
get
it.
me back with the old jokes later. So,
Ah!
actually, I know Ed won't remember because his memory is atrocious, but Kim will remember in April of last year, with the first time I was on, when I announced that I was running for town council. I said that I would donate half my salary to island nonprofits. Well, then Hurricane Ian came, and you might remember this because we were at in front of Daniel's new restaurant, right there, sitting outside.
That's right.
Where the guardrail got hit just recently.
That's what we were doing the show from there.
Yes.
Like we didn't have a home, so we were doing it from there. Yeah.
And at that point, I said I was going to go ahead and donate my entire first year's salary to nonprofits on the island. So that's what we're here today to do.
All right.
Keep a campaign promise.
Yes. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chris, anything you want to add? Are you here to make sure he doesn't give the money away, or you're okay with that?
No.
Yeah.
I just want to say that, I'm really proud of what he's doing. He's the type of person who's very selfless, and when they say put your mask on first, he would make sure somebody else puts their mask on before he puts his on. So
I see.
I think it's just wonderful what
Is
he's
he
doing.
still wearing a mask after
Well,
all
no,
these?
no,
it's-
okay.
it's-
You're talking about an
Not that
airplane.
kind.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah,
thought you
the
meant the COVID
airplane
thing.
mask.
Now
No,
I get the
actually-
COVID thing out of my head.
No.
She's talking about my Halloween mask.
Yeah. So John got called for jury duty during the week, and one of the rules at jury duty is you're not allowed to wear shorts. And so you wear shorts everywhere. Like
Everywhere.
every event that goes on, it could be a tuxedo event. You got a pair of freaking shorts on, and
I
you had
usually
to,
don't go to
tuxedo
those,
shorts.
but-
and you had to wear your pants. Where did you find pants?
Oh, wow. I've had them. I brought some with me from Iowa, just not as many as I used to have. But I sat there for 2.5 hours, never got called, so I was allowed to go home. But then there were 3 people wearing shorts, and I thought, doggone it,
Yeah.
next
You
time.
could have.
How'd they get away? Did they get ejected right away
They
from
did
the whole
not.
thing?
One of them got selected to be part of a jury.
I see.
And then they also tell you, jeans are not proper attire as well. And most of the people there were wearing jeans. So
Okay.
So you
lesson learned.
did
Just
not
be comfortable.
It's
You didn't
still
get
just
picked.
too loud.
I
out
did not
here.
get picked.
What
Well,
is it,
I
dear?
can't-
What is it?
I
You
can't
can't hear
hear
what? You
anything.
can't
I
hear
can't
or you
hear.
can hear?
I can't.
That's
hear
why I get here at
inside
8:30
here.
to make sure all the shit works. And you're complaining about the headphones already. Come
I
on.
can't hear.
And now
then
you
she's
know why
going-
people
she's
want to
going
tune
like
in.
this. She's going like this. Like, is that a signal I'm supposed to know? What does that mean? I have
I
no
can
idea what that
hear.
means. So
He
It's a
does
fair
not.
catch signal
So
for the
next-
Iowa
right.
game.
next
So
year,
I just want to ask about the jury duty because I've been called lots of times. So you sat in the big room and
Yes.
your number did not get called.
Never got
So
called.
you didn't even get to go up, get the questions.
Nothing.
Have you
Just-
done it before? Have you gotten through? And
Actually, last year I got a summons, but the night before I called, I didn't need to report, but I had done it previously in Iowa.
they have really
yeah,
nice.
you should go every time. We're on their
Yeah,
what's wrong?
I'm
We're
looking
on
at
their
your hair.
hit list. Not their hit list, but their call list because as
So
soon
we
as
get
I
a
get
lot.
one, you get one. Everyone in our family gets one.
They have really nice bathrooms in the county courthouse building. Really
If you get
clean
called
and nice
for
bathrooms.
Federal court jury,
you should
though?
put together a book
Yeah.
because you know probably every bathroom in Lee County.
I was the first.
There you go.
I
a
was the
toilet
first
book.
person to use the porta johns over in Times Square this morning after they're clean. Nothing's nicer than that.
Well, good
Yeah,
for you, Ed.
very nice bathrooms.
Good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Good luck,
life
Chris,
is good.
following that.
Listen, you get to be my age. Bathrooms are very important. Yeah. Porta potties on the beach are very important. So, John, you said your salary, like are you talking about your salary as a councilman or your
Yes,
salary
my,
like
my take-home pay as a council.
because you're retired now?
Yeah, he has
Right.
no
I've
other
been
job. Ed.
retired
This
for
is
years.
it.
How long have you been retired for?
I couldn't even tell you. Just
Oh, it's been that long.
yeah,
Like,
I'm a
What
I'm a
did you
kept
used
man.
to do?
I'm a kept
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Well, I started in radio.
Right.
yeah, we know that
my-
story.
my-
We know
Well,
you didn't make any
your money in
there.
that.
Actually, I didn't make bad money.
Yeah.
I made good money in that.
So,
because I was
Let
entertaining.
him finish.
no, the biggest question is, I
Ouch.
mean,
See, he doesn't listen. That's the best
That's
part.
right.
No, the how much money did you make
Take
over
that
your
back,
lifetime as an employee of companies? How much money
Oh,
did
over
you make?
as companies?
Yeah, how
No,
much money did you
I
make?
couldn't tell you.
In radio?
No, period.
Are
how
you
much
just
in your
saying
I
you're
can tell
really
you
giving
in
away
radio
more
was
money?
I probably made 100,000 over the 10 years I was in radio, which
back in the day.
That's
Which-
10,000 a year. And
Yeah.
Which meant-
I'm not
but
even, and I'm not good at
That's the
math.
average. That's the average. But it started low, and when I left, I
Was
was
that before taxes or after taxes? I mean, holy Christmas.
that was counting the cents as well.
Yeah.
I was
Um,
I was a six-figure person with to count the dollars and cents.
So this is from your town council job.
Yes,
And
Well-
what is the salary for a town councilman?
I would say it's under $16,000.
About 16,000.
No, under 17. I'm sorry.
17,000.
This is the after tax.
And the mayor makes a little bit more, right?
Oh, mayor's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I don't mean that. I mean, he does make a little bit more. I mean, it's
He
not all the
makes
same.
A tad.
Yeah. What does the mayor make?
I think he's just under 20.
Oh, very nice. Well, all right. So, Chris, anything you want to add before we kick you out of the chair?
Nope.
All right.
Thank you very much, Ed, for having me.
Yes. Thank you for participating so much.
Thank you for all of your walks on the beach
Yes.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you.
wife walks almost every morning on the beach and picks up garbage, and
Yep.
she deserves a round of applause for
Yes.
that.
Yay!
Very nice job.
And-
All right.
And plus,
Here,
she
stop
puts
doing
up with
that.
me, so she deserves a bigger round of applause for that. But
What?
what?
Did you want to say something before?
No.
Okay. The first group that's going to get a check from Councilman John King is the Women's Club, the Fort Myers Beach Women's
So
Club.
Don Thomas is here and Nan Williams are here. I will do.
Oh,
See?
that's very nice.
the
Dawn
boss,
Thomas.
the boss is already.
Vi-
You sure you don't want this, Nan? You grabbed it from me last
Dawn,
year.
sit down. Dawn, sit in the chair, grab the microphone. For anybody that doesn't know, Dawn is also the chairperson of the Fort Myers Beach Public Safety Committee, and she lives on Palermo, and there's a trailer park at the end of Palermo. How is that coming along? Is that
The KOA
Yeah.
is still there.
there's
Hopefully
like
they're not taking any more reservations, but we did have a new visitor this week and they've left. But no, they're still there.
yeah, I walked by there today just to see if the trailers were still there. It's like there's like 6 of them in that one spot there.
Yeah.
Are they still discharging the fecal matter into the canal?
Yes, we
Oh,
saw
geez.
fecal matter in the canal
Wow.
this week. So we have not been very happy on our street.
Yeah.
Can we not talk about toilets and poop
Dear, sometimes
anymore today?
Sometimes you
Sorry.
gotta get the people up to date
Oh,
on
no, it's
current
not you.
events.
Sorry.
It is not you.
All right, John King, back to you.
Sorry, John.
That's all right, Don.
But John did answer me my email. Thanks, John.
And we're trying to get that addressed. We've already
Yeah.
cited them.
Yeah,
Yep,
John,
yep.
what's the story? I
Thanks,
mean,
John.
while you're here, why are there 14 trailers on one spot? Why are you looking at the town manager? Leave him alone.
I'm not looking at the town manager. I was looking at Frankie.
Yeah, I mean,
the
come on.
operations
Just
guy.
can't you just call a tow company and come on?
Remember, I was
No.
in jury duty when this was going
No,
on. So
You're lying. It was
for that
going
2.5
on before that.
hours I was there.
We have to, I think we have to wait for the owners of the property. They have to be the ones to
I see.
get
in
rid
trouble.
of them.
Yeah.
Yes. And so now we have a really nice neighborhood watch
Yeah.
and we will be,
Who's staying in those trailers? Are they contractors? Are they vagrants? Are they relatives? Are they renting them out? What,
He just
what is-
can't let it
we
go.
don't know.
Oh, wow. You're getting
Wow.
the move it along from Dave.
Really? Oh, sorry,
Yes.
Dave.
He's going to start looking
Wow.
at his phone in a minute.
Hey, go back to
Sorry, Dave.
Wisconsin. What are you giving me shit for? All right, John, back to you.
Anyway, last year I had leftover campaign funds because I wasn't able to send out a mailer because there were no addresses to mail things to. So I gave, I think, a little over $5,000 to the Women's Club last
Yes.
year. We did a nice presentation and a picture in front of the club that was devastated. And within seconds of that picture being taken, the treasurer of the organization, Nan Williams, grabbed that check out of my hand
Wow.
so quick.
Yeah.
And that's what you want in a treasurer.
Yes.
Because she
Yeah.
was right on top of it. But this year,
She's very pushy, by the way. Nan.
I'd have to ask her husband.
No, I'm telling you, she's very pushy. I could
Do you
vouch
want
for
to
that.
elaborate on that or no?
Yeah, no,
No,
not right
okay.
now.
I
Maybe
thought
later.
so.
Anyway,
I thought
Getting
not.
back to my show,
Yeah, go ahead.
and back in radio, we used to kid too that we used to do shows in the hallway that were better than the
That's
radio
right.
on-air shows
Yeah.
we did.
That's
And
right.
if we broadcast those,
Yeah.
people would have been watching
I'm
all
gonna
the time.
record our show tonight outside in our backyard.
Anyway, for the Fort Myers Beach Women's Club, a check for $5,073.28.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
And on top of that, Chris's company, Principal Financial Group, will be matching at 50%. So there'll be at least another 2,500 coming
Nice.
Sweetness.
within the
Thank you,
next
Chris.
30 days.
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
And
Thank
for
you,
anybody
Chris.
that doesn't know, the Women's Club building was lost in the storm. They are getting ready for a capital campaign
Yes.
to rebuild the Women's Club. Our 5K on New Year's Eve is going to benefit the women's club. It's going to be followed by a pub crawl. So all that money is going to go toward the women's club, and we're looking forward to helping you guys out.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn.
Take care of
Thanks,
those.
John.
Good luck with your trailer, friends. Next up is Heidi from FMB Strong.
Yay, Heidi.
Yeah. FMB Strong just did a ribbon cutting and a what was it?
It was a ribbon cutting and a water softener.
Oh, I love the water
Dedication.
softener dedications. I've been to so many of them.
It's good for your hair.
Nothing better than soft water.
It's good for the hair, isn't
It's
it?
good for Ed's hair.
Yeah.
Heidi, you
Such
got to
as it
come
is.
over a little bit so you're in
No,
the
no,
camera
no,
there.
Greg.
Greg, come on,
We're
man.
fine.
All right. John, take it away. Back to you.
Well, it was a pleasure to be at the ribbon cutting at FMB Strong at 820 Buttonwood on Tuesday. You folks gave me a very nice plaque, and it's very appreciative. It's
what did
Yes,
you get a plaque
thank
for?
you.
What did
We
you get
got
a plaque
he
for?
got a plaque too. Thank you so much.
What did you get a plaque for? What did you do?
I've got a check right
Oh,
here.
okay.
Stay in your lane,
It
Ed.
does. It does not say Ed Ryan
For-
on it. It
That's
never
right.
will.
Oh. How many coffees have you bought me, by the way?
I don't drink coffee, so
All right.
to FMB Strong, thank you for all you do for the community. Here's a check for $5,073.28.
Wow.
Thank you very
from
much.
Chris and I, and then as I said earlier, Chris's company will be matching that at 50%.
Wow.
So there's
Again?
another 25. Yeah, for each
Wow.
of these
That's
donations.
amazing.
Nice.
Thank you.
Heidi, talk about FMB Strong. Tell everybody.
I will. Some of this money is going to go to purchase Thanksgiving dinners for people who need it.
Great.
So if you know somebody who needs a turkey dinner,
I know a turkey.
yeah.
Let's barbecue him.
Okay, we can make that happen.
Hey, we can do a roast.
There you go.
Serve
Email
it as
us at
chili.
FMB Strong and we'll get them on the list, or stop in and let us know. The other thing we have coming up is save the date, February 10th.
What are you doing?
We are bringing the Regal Beagle to
What-
Fort Myers Beach.
what does that
at the
mean?
Rude Shrimp.
What is a Regal Beagle?
You don't know what the Regal Beagle is, Ed?
No. It's
Three's
come
the company.
Three's Company. Yeah, I thought that was it.
on. I'm
That was
totally
the
over my
bar
head.
in
Yep.
Three's Company.
The Rude Shrimp is going to turn into the Regal Beagle
Okay,
for one
cool.
day.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's before my time, Heidi. Way before
We
my
are going to
time.
do a pub crawl. Rude Shrimp, Wahoo Willies, Nervous Nellies, Matanzas, and we have a couple other to contact, but those are that have confirmed. It's going to be a great time.
All right.
February
10th.
10th.
Save the date.
All right. Thank you, Heidi. FMB
Thanks,
Strong,
Heidi.
everybody,
Thanks
at
for all you do.
820
Appreciate it.
Buttonwood. All right. And our final, is somebody adding up his checks to make sure there's nothing left over for
Yeah,
the
we
state
know.
Oh
check, please?
my goodness.
I checked the math with my wife because I'm like you. I'm not very good at math either. So
Somebody from the Art Association, the Fort
Yeah.
Myers Beach Art Association. And
Julia Nussbaum and Star.
And while
Sherwood?
they're coming up, I'm going to put on our Facebook page so people can see it. The new building that they're planning to build. So people look at that. I know you guys can't see it, but if you're on Facebook now, you can see the pictures right over
I
the
love
front.
that.
How cool is that building look?
That
right there?
is
and you
very-
guys,
It's what?
It's very arty.
The Art Association?
It's
Yes.
arty.
and you're gonna be starting a capital campaign for that because
Who
obviously.
designed that?
It's MK Architecture,
Yep.
and
Nice.
they're in Fort Myers, and they've done a wonderful job.
They did.
Yeah.
Like what kind of genre? What kind of theme? I have something in my mind that I think it's familiar with, but you tell me.
As
Is it
far as
As the design aesthetic of the
Very
building.
Similar to our
Old
old
building.
building. If
Yeah.
you remember, it had the slanted roof.
Share that mic, please.
And we had
Put it
a
back on.
committee, a
Okay.
rebuilding committee that helped design and have it a lot like some of the features of our old building, which we loved. And this is just a little more fancy.
Oh, you're getting lots of good feedback
I
about that building
love
from
that.
people watching.
Thank
You love it.
it's got the wonderful north light that we all appreciate when we're in there and we're painting.
Yep.
Is
and
that important?
it's very
important
important.
to
And
have the
the
north
previous
light?
building
Mhm.
had all of the right features. It was built as an art building, so why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
Right.
We
right.
we did some preliminary things with the building committee. We have quite a few people who worked on this. We gave the architect quite a few ideas of what we wanted it to
Yep,
look like,
that's
how
awesome.
we wanted it to be. So there's a few things we're still going to tweak on it, but for the most part, we've come up with a pretty nice plan. We're pretty excited.
Now,
about
how
it.
much do you need to raise for that building
Oof.
to come?
That's always a good question. And we're just in-
Julie, we've spent enough time together. You know
Well-
you're not supposed to say that to him.
Oh, we are not in a position to actually give a dollar amount yet. But, I think everybody has a pretty good idea of what it's going to cost to
Yeah.
build a new building on this island.
Did you get some insurance money?
Very little, but we
Oh.
did get some. So we definitely are going to be hitting it hard
Yeah.
to
Starting
in
when?
our fundraising in
Right
November.
now? Okay, in
Yep,
November. Next
We
month.
also
Gotcha.
have some FEMA money coming in. We don't know how much yet. And that's a work in progress. We're doing all the paperwork. We're submitting everything. They now have this plan, and we need to get bids for our building. There's an awful lot of paperwork, as everybody knows, that goes with the FEMA stuff. But we're hopeful. We'll see what happens with that. But that's down the road. So yeah, we have to do a campaign to raise money.
All right.
But right, we just also want everybody to know that we are still very active. The Fort Myers Beach Art Association is around. We have a wonderful church in Fort Myers, the Fort Myers Congregational Church on College has given us their fellowship hall, and we do everything there. They have been so incredibly generous. We meet there, we gather there, we have indoor paint days, we have events, we have board meetings.
Somebody has a question. Will there be a sound stage for performing arts at the new building?
We do have open space underneath,
Okay,
which could potentially
cool.
be used for that.
Very nice.
Great question. Thank
And
you.
where is the building going to be located? What's the name of
On
the
your
street?
It's on
On your
Denora.
Denora.
It's right where it always was.
Yeah.
The corner of Shell Mound and Denora.
Nice, nice. All right, back to John King.
Well, how much am I giving them? Great question,
I
Kim.
Thank you so
Cut it
much,
out. Not
John.
gonna happen.
And as a matter of fact,
5,000.
$73.28. So that'll be a little less that they have to raise.
Yeah.
And then also a little less because, once again, Principal Financial Group, where Chris works and keeps me as a kept man, they'll be giving you an additional 50% of that. So it'll be over $2,500. You should get that within the next
Very
30
nice.
days.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
Appreciate that
Very
so
nice.
much. I can't even tell you.
Thank you,
It
guys.
makes a big difference. Everything counts. And we're out there. We have a donate button on our website. We're FortMyersBeachArt.com. So even if just some of your listeners donate, and I know
Yeah.
you have 87,000
No,
listeners.
I don't know. I
you
don't
know,
keep track.
Yeah, right.
Stinky
87,323, but I don't often check.
Yeah. Well, if they even just think about donating, we would
I know, right?
love
Appreciate
it.
it.
We would
$5 from
appreciate
each.
it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be great.
Thank you
Thank you
guys
for this
so much.
opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And John, so
Are you out of checks now?
you had a check.
I'd have to ask
5,
Chris.
10, 15.
She's
You gotta be
control the
close,
checkbook.
yeah.
So yeah,
Now-
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
for
so
presentations, yes.
before I let you go, I have to obviously you haven't been on the show for a while. I was a little surprised when I made the post about folks feeling like there was retribution for stuff. This town council and this town staff is so different than the dictatorship that we had not too long ago. I was surprised that some people still felt like they weren't being treated nicely. It didn't seem like it fit.
Well, that's a great question, Kim. But
Listen,
You
if
know,
you
honestly-
people out there laugh at these jokes, come on.
honestly, to a certain extent, I agree with you. But then I don't, because I've witnessed it from folks in my own condo association trying to get them to do something like beach renourishment, because there's still not a lot of trust for the town government. And I get that. That's why one of the reasons I ran was to bring a change of culture to this town and its government. So I understand it takes time. All I'm saying is the mayor's doing a great job. We're trying as hard as we can. Give us a chance. Contact us with your problems. Don't put them on Facebook. Put them on Facebook if you don't get an answer, but contact us because we're willing to help. And it feels good every day to be able to help people with their problems. That's another
So-
reason I wanted to get involved.
If somebody has a problem, how can they contact you at town council?
John King at fmbgov.com.
Your mom is watching too, by the way. So your mom and your dad are both watching. So be on your best behavior.
Oh,
dear.
well, okay. I'll make sure.
No,
And she's a great child, mom and dad.
They're not together anymore. They're
Well,
totally
what
They're
does that
separate.
still her
mean?
mom and dad.
Oh, it's true. The one person who I
you
had,
don't do heredity very well either, do you?
no, what is
No,
heredity?
genetics.
What is heredity?
Yeah, no.
No,
He's not
so
good
one
with
of the
that.
one of the things that made I understood Rick on the roof, because he went through all that stuff sitting on the roof, and then he kind of got his way at the end because of FEMA got involved. So I mean, that was one of the comments, because he said he disagreed with the slide that I put up from Let's Go FMB. I mean, there's so many groups now, I can't keep track of them. It's like a shadow government here, and you got a group here. We got a new town manager who's only been here
Oh,
for a
boy.
few months. Give him a chance to fix things. For crying
Exactly,
out
6
loud.
months. So
Yeah.
I'm
So,
going to give you a shovel. You
all right.
can
Anything
just
else
keep
you want to share,
digging
John?
your
Because you've
grave.
been riveting to this point.
well, into the
Anything
ears,
else?
straight to
Yeah.
the heart. And that
Yes.
hurt.
Well, thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you
Thank
so
for-
much.
Anything else
Thank
to
you
add?
for letting me fulfill my campaign promise.
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. What? Thank you, John King, everybody.
So I just
Okay.
want to ask Chris to come up for
Fair
2
enough.
minutes.
Fair
Come on
enough.
up. Come on up.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just want to give you an opportunity to tell us the people that you work with, that because now that was really, really nice that they matched the funds. So it's 25, around 75. Yeah.
Yeah, Principal Financial Group has a wonderful history of philanthropy, and in the past couple of years, the organization has put together a program so that I can match up to like $50,000. If I would contribute $50,000, they would do a half match for things. So, I mean, it's just a way to support all of our employees around the world in the things that we care about, and through this match program. So it's fabulous.
I mean, that is a really unique. I haven't heard, I've heard different incentives from different companies, but that's a really nice. So the only connection they have to the beach then is through you.
Yeah, it's just employees. So I can give a contribution to a nonprofit that meets the qualifications, and all of these met the qualifications, and they will match it at 50%. And the other good thing is when I volunteer, I can submit my volunteer hours, and I get $25 per hour that I volunteer that I've been donating to organizations like the Art Association and other ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Principal Financial Group. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, like, what do you do there?
Well, now
Are you like a numbers person?
For about 17 years, I managed our sponsorship program, which
Okay.
included golf tournaments and baseball events and Big Ten events and
fun
NASCAR,
stuff.
fun
Yeah.
stuff. And for the past few years, I've been working in digital technology. So I onboard digital technology platforms.
So you know a lot about computers, right?
Well,
The next time we have a problem
no,
here,
I
maybe
can't. I can't fix any of that stuff, but I know who to work with, who can.
Nice. All right. So give out the information at Principal
Financial Group. And so if
Awesome.
you need any retirement products or other things for your small business or for yourself, Principal Financial Group.
Well, thank you to Principal
Thank you.
Financial Group, and thank you to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. All right. Before we get to our next guest, we're going to invite Jorge up.
Okay.
Jorge is Jorge Barrera has been a longtime sponsor of the show.
Hey.
We wanted to, instead of doing our live read, have you come up.
And
tell
he's
everybody.
always smiling.
Yes.
This guy is never having a bad day.
Oh yes, I do.
And you and your wife just adopted a dog.
Yes, we did. We got a French bulldog, 12 weeks old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
There's a
yes.
guy in Cape Coral that has French bulldogs, dear, that totally need to be rescued from him.
Oh yeah, right. Here we
Just
go.
so you know,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
prices aren't crazy.
Yeah, no, the prices were, I mean, compared to the
Yeah,
Oh,
the regular.
my
like $4,000 or
goodness,
$5,000, it was much cheaper. But
So last week, one of our followers, Danya, said that she was going to be looking for a house, and you were taking her out. What happened?
so I met Donia here like earlier during the year, January. We introduced each other and stuff. So she reached out like 2 weeks ago, just telling me that they were ready to purchase a house. They actually had a house here in the Indian Creek, and
Oof.
yeah, and they were using that house just as a vacation home, but they decided to actually make the move to Southwest Florida,
Yeah.
and they came Friday to Monday, and I was gonna take them out to see houses Saturday. So I did. We looked at 12 homes on Saturday.
I'm sorry, 12?
12 homes, yeah. I
That's
set
a
up-
lot of homes to look at in a day.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it's just because that it was such a limited time, and they really needed to find a house. So I sent them everything that met their criteria. They chose 12 homes. We went to look at them. At the end of Saturday, I didn't see that they were a couple properties that they liked,
Yeah.
but they were not really,
Not it.
No,
Yeah.
that was not it. So I sent them more that evening, and I told them, whatever you choose, I sent them 12 more homes. They chose 6 more, and we went to look at them. And at the end of the day, we put an offer, and they're thank God they're under contract.
Yeah.
as
Look
of
at
today.
you. Look at you. Very nice.
Wow.
So if people want to sell their home or buy their home, how do they reach you?
Absolutely. So the best way to reach me is through text message or just give me a call at 239-791-9893. 239-791-9893.
She's watching, by the way. Don't use watching. Yeah, she says hello.
7 days a week. Anytime
Awesome.
you're gonna call me, even if you have only questions about anything about selling, just have a chat.
Is the dog house trained yet, or is the dog?
He's doing extremely well.
Yeah.
He's sleeping throughout the night.
Yeah.
His name is Duke.
Duke.
And he's a great addition to the family. We're gonna be bringing him here soon.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Jorge.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
sponsoring the show. You can also see Jorge volunteering at 820 Buttonwood. And he's still giving. Are you still doing the donation thing? Still giving a portion of his
Oh, yeah.
sales to
That's
charity?
been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, before we get to our guests, I do want to tell you about Blue Shift Cybersecurity. By the way,
Blue Shift.
yeah, Blue Shift. Very clean bathrooms here at Wahoo Willie's, if anyone wants to know. Very clean. All right, you cannot keep a determined hacker out of your business. You have to be able to detect and respond to their intrusion. Blue Shift Cybersecurity. Our friend Greg Skasny lives right here on Fort Myers Beach. He knows his stuff when it comes to this. And you don't need to be a gigantic company or, if you have a small business, the last thing you need is somebody hacking into your stuff and stealing your information. So give Greg a call at Blue Shift, SHIFT. Remember, there's an F in there. Cybersecurity. His phone number, he's sitting right out in his car right now, waiting for you to call his cell phone. 305-767-3853. 305-767-3853. All right, folks, if you're not doing anything later today, there's a cornhole tournament at the beach bar to benefit the Beach Elementary School. So you can go there starting now. The beanbag tosses. I guess that's what that is, right? The cornhole tournament to benefit the Beach Kids Foundation. And on November the 12th, we're doing a cleanup at the Estero Island Historical Society building. We're going to be cleaning up the weeds. We're going to be replanting the stuff with the help from the Estero Garden Club. And that's going to be a Sunday, the 12th at 8 o'clock. So if you want to volunteer for that, just let us know. We were over there at the cottage today looking around at the building, and we're going to do that on the 12th. And so tomorrow morning, you'll be riding your bike, starting at Bowditch. And
Yes. I'm starting at that end, and then I'm going to work my way.
make sure if you see Rose on the way that you stop and say hi to her.
Because I got out of whack in the middle, and then
Yeah.
there's
got
a
out of
lot
whack.
mid-island.
Hate
There's
when
a
you get out
lot
of
of
whack.
mid-island. What?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a friend of the show, and he's
Well, he's coming on a friend. Let's hope he leaves
Yeah.
this one.
Adam Botana, everybody. Florida Representative Adam Botana from Bonita. Thanks so much for coming down, man. Appreciate it. That's good right there. And,
Does it work?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey,
So, Adam, it's your
good
second
morning. Good morning, sir.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
second 2-year term, right? Were you just elected, or when's the election cycle for you?
It'll be next August if we have a primary opponent, and then November for the regular election for 24.
And do Florida representatives have their term limits, or you can run forever?
Yes, there's term limits.
Okay.
So my last year, if I win this reelection, and the one after will be 28. So 26, 28 will be my last one.
Favorite rock band of all time?
Favorite rock band of all time? I have to say AC/DC.
All right.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
Go ahead.
What's
Dan.
your favorite movie?
We did this before.
Yeah,
but-
nobody-
I thought you did.
Yeah,
Long
no,
time ago.
Favorite movie: Days of Thunder, Hunt for Red October.
Yeah. By the way, last time you were on was at Pete's Timeout, right? I mean, that's how long ago. Oh no, you were
No,
here.
I was
That's
here.
right. You were
I was
here. That's
here,
right.
yeah.
You were here once
Wow.
before. Okay, we'll skip all those dumbass questions then. So
Well, let's revisit your most embarrassing moment. Maybe that's changed.
no. Dear, did you want to bring up the other thing or not? Did you
We'll
ask?
get to it. No, not yet. No. Okay.
Well, go ahead.
Most embarrassing moment.
I don't know
so
if you know what the other thing is.
No. Go ahead.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Go ahead. Bring it up.
Most embarrassing moment, as a few of you know, I was raised in a carnival business. My family's been in a carnival business for over 60 years. There was a very pretty girl that worked in the circus. She was actually a Walinda, and she was
Like
she
an
loved
actual
Walinda.
flying
Wow.
Walinda?
Actual flying Walinda was related to him. And I was, showing off I had muscles. So she wanted to ride the pirate ship, the ride at the carnival back and forth. And she rode it. And then as we're going there, so excited and so scared, I threw up on myself. So that was right in front of the girls. So
I didn't remember that story.
No, that's a new one, but I just remember that was one that popped in my head. So
You've got a few
I got a few embarrassing
Now, the
moments.
last time you were on, I think you were getting ready to get engaged or something with a girl. What happened there? I mean,
See, that is the thing.
she wanted to bring
I
it.
love you, Ed. I love you. I love you
Well,
so
I mean,
much.
You blame it on me somehow. That's what I mean.
No.
She said you blaming it on me.
No, you asked a question. I was like, next question, and that didn't go well.
Because you were asking about his intentions, and it put too much pressure on things. And this is what happened.
What was the question? I don't remember. Like, were you going to get married or
like
something?
his intentions? Yeah.
I said next question, Ed. Next question.
I
And we're
can't
still
read
going to
the
say
room.
next question. Great girl.
I can't take a hint. Sorry about that. So
are you currently seeing somebody?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm a single guy.
All right.
There you go.
Well, what's your phone number? Put your phone number out there. So
239-666-6666.
Oh, there you go.
Well, speaking of the devil, I mean, no. Well, let's just get the elephant out of the room here. Since when the storm hit, I mean, you were the best friend Fort Myers had. I mean,
still am.
I know, but I mean, you were handing out free Wi-Fi, and you were helping Dan before he was the mayor. You were at 820 Buttonwood, and you knew the previous administration were they were just dropping the ball, and they were hiding, and they weren't
Governor's
around.
office helped us a lot too.
Right. But you were the face. You were, other than Kevin Guthrie, you were down here a lot helping out. And so when you decided that the fire district merger was going to be something you wanted to pursue, what were you thinking?
Well, Ed, I'll be honest with you. I'm come from a family business. I see businesses. That's what we've always done. Okay, I look at everything as a business, and as your representative, my people are my constituents, and I want to save you money. That's what I see, and I've heard things. I've had people come to me and ask, hey, what's going on with this? What's going on with this fire district? And I have nothing against the fire district. Nothing. We brought $16 million back for them, and they got $14 million. I'm still waiting to hear what they want for this year for appropriations, regardless what happens. Love Fort Myers Beach, and Fort Myers Beach, this town of Fort Myers Beach is always going to be here as long as I'm here. We're going to keep it here. It's not going anywhere. There's nothing going back to Lee County. But my thing is this, we're here to save money for our constituents, and that's what I care about. This idea had come up, it had been materializing for the last couple of years. In Lee County, we have 17 fire districts. Okay, 17 different fire chiefs. So in comparison to Collier County, they have 5. Okay, now Lee County is a lot bigger than Collier County is a lot smaller than Lee County. Okay, so let's go to Broward County. Broward County has 26 cities. They have 17 fire districts. Okay, they have pretty much double our population. So this is just something that we're working towards. This is an eye-opening event that you just say, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't need all these layers of government. That adds more problems.
Okay, so just to dig down on that, there's no doubt that there's 17 fire districts, but why Bonita and Fort Myers Beach to be the first 2 that you went after, and why not call the chiefs, the current chiefs, and try and get some info from them,
Ed, you know me, and I'm going to tell you right now, I talked to Greg and I talked to Scott Beworth. Now, if they don't say I didn't do that, that's up to them, sir. That's up to them. Okay. I remember having them in my office, Scott, and I believe it's a CFO in our office when we talked about appropriations. And I said, hey, there's a possibility that this might happen. What is your input? And he pretty much said the same thing he said now, consolidation's not always a good thing. It doesn't always save money. I said, well, if you were the chief, would you stick around? He says, I wouldn't stick around if there was a consolidation. Again, it's a merger. Okay, fire departments are not, the firemen are still the same people. The response time in Bonita is great. The response time in Fort Myers is great. What's interesting, if this comes up, I have a commissioner from Fort Myers Beach somehow started texting me, and he says, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? If you do this, it's only going to save you $500,000, and what uniforms are going to use. You know, $500,000 for a city that just got hit by a Category 5 storm every year is a lot of money. I don't know about you. And are you considering, you know, what uniforms?
Where did you get the data that it was going to save $500,000?
That's from the fire commissioner that texted me. That's just from him. That's from the commissioner texting me.
One of ours or one of theirs?
One of the Fort Myers.
Okay.
You know, and he says, if you want to really do something, you know, consolidate everything to one fire chief. You know, so that was not, you know, that's not something I like. But Ed, the realistic thing, there's no bill now. I mean, we're going to talk about it. You know, we're going to talk about it on the 30th, and I encourage everybody to come out and tell me. You know, we've had emails in support. We've had emails against. Call me. Come see me. See what you think. You know,
okay,
voice your opinion.
let me finish it. Just round out this question.
Okay.
When Scott Worth and the chief in Bonita told me that the first time they heard it was the Friday before the bill came out, you're saying that's not true?
We have physically talked about it. You just say, hey, what do you think of this? You know, what's going on? Now, I did send him the bill saying, hey, there's going to be a bill that's going to come out. It's in drafting. I want your input. And I sent it to Scott and Greg, both of them. You know, I sent them in a joint email. Guys, what do you want to see different? What do you want to do? And of course, you know, the thing is, guys, I think if the unions are upset at me, I'm probably doing my job. You know, there's some things there that comes down to where there's something going on. So, but unfortunately, the bill is now gone, so we'll see what happens.
Can I
Yes, sorry.
just ask a question? So formulating this bill, and I know you said now it's not there anymore, but looking at the data, so is there going to be a study? Could that have been, do you think, in hindsight, doing a study in advance to have the numbers to see what savings would have been is a good thing, and going forward, is that a good thing to do? Because I think people are open to, saving money as long as they don't lose service and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. No, you know, and I'll be the first one to admit, this is my third year doing this, and I make mistakes. And I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but I do love Fort Myers Beach. And I'll admit
And
that.
we know that.
We do know that.
So if I made a mistake, I'm sorry. And I'll tell everybody here that too. You know, the situation here is this. If we go in now, we look at the mosquito control, and there is an OPAGA study out there right now, and it was
What
done
was that? An OPAGA?
OPAGA study. So it's a study. It's done by the state.
Okay.
You know, and it comes there. It says, well, Fort Myers Beach mosquito control is, I believe 6 or 7% of Lee County. Then you
Okay.
have the Lee County mosquito control that's 94%. But you know, with these things, you know, I don't want to, and I wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't want to hurt anybody from Fort Myers Beach, because I even said it in that bill saying, hey, if you're in Fort Myers Beach, you keep your name.
Mm-hmm.
That's never been done before, from what I understand. That, you know, if this fire district merges with Bonita and you're in Fort Myers, you can keep the name of Fort Myers Beach. Because I heard that was a concern of a lot of the firemen. Like, hey, we're Fort Myers Beach. I've got a hat in my office in Tallahassee from Ron Martin. It's Fort Myers Beach Fire. He gave it to me. You know, so I think that, you know, if we have a study or we put it to the voters, you know, because what I do, it's a local bill. I can say, hey, put it to the voters. They want a
There's an idea.
referendum, you know,
Mhm.
put it to the voters. You guys decide what you want to do.
Will you
just do that.
Will you pursue it that way then? Put it to the voters?
We've got a while yet, so we'll see what happens. You know, I think it's pretty much dead for this year.
Yeah.
You know, we got nothing here. The 30th, our delegation chair, great lady Jenna, Representative Persons Mullica, you know, she's putting it out there, but we didn't put out a notice because you have to have a notice for it. So she's going that way. So we're gonna hear what our concerns from the constituents, you know, but that's where we're at.
So from the history of what I understand of the 17 fire districts, was kind of the brainchild of Frank Mann when it was more rural. And now there's no way it's rural anymore, and probably needs to be looked at overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe all 17.
Yeah, and I think that's what needs to happen. You know, there was a consolidation, and it was a volunteer consolidation that happened in Collier County, where, you know, Ochapi went into this one, you know, and there was a couple. North Naples went with North Collier and the Big Cypress Basin. Big Cypress Fire. So there was some work there, and they did a study, and they voluntarily went, you know, what happens. But, you know, these firemen are going to take care of each other, you know, and also if this does happen later, Lee County Mosquito Control, it obviously is going to take care of the people in Fort Myers Beach, you know. So that's where we're at right now.
So if you were able to predict where you think it'll go, it's going to be discussed on Monday. And then what do you think will happen after that?
Well, that is the delegation meeting. You know, that's where it is right there. If it doesn't get noticed at the delegation meeting, the bill doesn't go forward. So maybe this is something that we look through next year. You know, do we put it out for a study? Do we take a look at it? You know, what can we do? Do we make a referendum and put it in the hands of the voters? Because you guys vote for us. You guys make a
I
decision.
think if there was data that said here's the solid what it's going to save taxpayers, they would not be opposed to that. I think they kind of felt like it came out of nowhere and they didn't know how much it was going to save.
It's not just the saving of the money; it's also saving money, but not losing service, not losing response time, not losing their name, which. You know, I think there's all of those other considerations too. But yeah, if that was all taken care of, then you let the people decide.
Just talking to us kids here. I mean,
Speak for yourself.
If the fire department could be merged, why wouldn't Fort Myers Beach become part of Lee County?
This is not going to happen again, Ed. You know, we're here.
Well,
But
I know you say that, and I think that, but you won't be there forever, and there are other people who whisper that thing. So I want to know what your thoughts are.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people that worry about that. So
for sure,
kind of putting
some
out there
people in
that
this
that's
room.
not your intention. You know,
how do you stay ahead of that? Because I think Lee County, there's some people that are running the government in Lee County that would love to watch Fort Myers Beach rebuild and then come in and say, okay, we like the way that money looks in our pocket.
That's a very good question, Ed. You know, I think you just need to take a look at it and see what's going on out there. And you have to see what's happening. But I know with our mayor here, our council, and our staff, that's all. I got Andy. You got a lot of shaking hands out here. We got a lot of good people. It's a lot better than it ever was.
Yes, for
and
sure.
Keep these people and you keep electing good people to represent you. Like I always say all the time, guys, if you see somebody out there that's running that's normal, just normal, support them. You know, help them out.
Like a normal person?
Like a normal person. You know,
so few of those left anymore. I mean, we
know.
got John King on the town council for crying out loud.
It's not bad for an old guy.
So just to put that thing to bed, how do people stay involved in that so they keep their local government, they keep their local people? How would that happen? Does it have to start with the state, or can the county swoop in on it?
Say if there was, I think, be honest with you, there's only been one or two towns dissolved that I know of, that I haven't really looked into it. There was one on 301 in the center of the state where they actually annexed part of 301. They put a cop there, and all they would do was pull over people, and they would actually pull them over, give them a ticket outside of their jurisdiction.
So they didn't have to deal with it.
No, but they were getting money, and that's how the town was funded. So the legislature came in and dissolve the town.
Gotcha.
So that's where that happens, But with this area here, I know I talked to Kathleen Pasadomo. I've talked to Senate President Kathleen Pasadomo. I've talked to Senator John Martin. And we're, they're all concerned that, we're kicking you when we're down. And again, I'm sorry. That's not my intention. I'm just trying to take care of our people. $500,000 is a lot of money. Every year, that's $2 million. That's a lot. That's $1 million over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where that's my concern. That's where I'm at. And I believe, I think, if we have some districts merge, there's not the same thing for that. There was talk, well, where'd that tower came from? Well, they were asking DEM for $26 million at one time. And we talked, Guthrie called, and I said, that's a lot. I think rebuilding the fire station at $14 million.
Just so people know, there was a new firehouse that would have had a training tower. The tower
was a concept. Now, I'm not saying if the commission voted on it or did anything like that, but there was a
tower
concept.
wasn't 26 million. The whole, just so everybody knows, I think it was
structure.
1 million of the whole.
And the thing is, you got a lot of administrators.
But part of Adam, part of it is okay.
But you have a lot of administrators are in the fire department and all this. But if there was a consolidation, you wouldn't need all that building and all those administrators in that situation.
But part of what was going on with the state was saying, ask us for everything. So they were asking for everything. And then somebody comes back and says, why the hell are you asking for all this stuff? And so, I mean, it's not an easy thing.
No, it's all part of it. But we've got Dan and the city, $22 million. We got the Turtle Lights. Mm-hmm. They went through a process. It's at the county right now, but we're going to get the Turtle Lights done. If anything happens, that's one thing for sure we're working on. But we're going to come back, and we're not going to give the town $20 million just to sit in a bank account while you're sitting there to sign it. So now they're coming back with plans, and we're working with Andy. We're working even with Frankie over there. But we're working with everybody to say, hey, what do you want? It's always an open line of communication. Call me. What's going on? What's happening? Anytime.
So how much are you going to be able to bring back next time?
We're gonna ask
Like
for the max
suitcasefuls?
suitcase. I told him that's the idea. I'm
did
gonna
say
go
that.
up there with two empty suitcases and say, hey, fill it up. But we have a
Make
special.
sure they're extra large capacity suitcases.
Absolutely, but we're gonna work with Senator Martin with that because he is our senator, and he's had my back the whole way, and we're gonna keep working all the way through.
Well, and I think you make a good point about the money, and the mayor made that point on Monday that it is a learning process of you don't ask for something that you need in the future. You ask for what you need right now because you don't want that money to be sitting in somebody's bank account because it could be used somewhere else in the state. I mean, and I think we all understand that we're part of the bigger state and you got to share it around. But, that is a good point that, to get your order in and what do you need right now? And then you'll go up and make sure you bring back all of the money that they need for the projects on the beach.
That's the goal.
There you go.
So is the fire thing dead, or you think it'll have legs? Or you want to pursue a full-blown study for all 17, or where are you going to let it go?
So my district is Fort Myers Beach, Bonita, North Naples, Pine Island, Captiva, all the way to Boca Grande. So I looked at my district and said, what special districts are in there that are overlap? What can be done to consolidate some? Because that's what we hear from the state level. Hey, a lot of special districts, a lot of extra layers of government, a lot of extra layers of taxes. Is there duplication? Is there all that? Look at your district and see where you're at. Okay. So I looked at it. Unfortunately, before the storm, there was issues. And now with the storm, it's heightened. So we're just looking across the board.
When you say there are issues, can you be specific?
Just, I think before COVID, there was, let's just take, for instance, a Fort Myers Beach fire. There was 11 vacancies, inside there, and there's still vacancies now after the storm. I mean, there's been a lot going on. So there's stuff that it could be maybe an extra battalion chief. There's other stuff that's going on there. And this is the stuff that people come to me with, hey, Adam, I'm concerned about this. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? So, but if they want to study, if they want a referendum, we'll leave it to the people. I'll let you guys decide.
Well, that's fair. That's fair enough, right?
I'm here. I do the local bill. You come to me and say, hey, Adam, I don't like this. What can we do? Well, we can put it to a vote. I like this. Put it to a vote. I had this gentleman here talk to me about citizens I called Jimmy Petronas just now and said, hey, what can we do for this situation? He answered, well, we have to do it for, a person who owns a home. So there's rentals in there. So we have to work on it. But we're going to have a meeting next week and see if there's something we can do to help out that condo.
So on September 28th, you were up on stage sitting next to Jonathan Martin, and Kevin Guthrie kept saying, I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it short. And he went on for 30 minutes. Everybody was sweating like crazy. It was so nice to have everybody up there, but man, he went on too long.
Kevin is a great guy. He does an amazing job. He's dealing with Idalia up in there, and we have a special session coming up. But the best speaker was right here to my right.
I was second. I'm not going to disagree
I was
with
second.
You were nice and short. You were nice and short.
Talking about Dana and I and a Mick Ultra that we had.
Yeah.
But that's the main thing.
He thanked every employee on the Florida payroll at that meeting, every single one of them. So, does anyone have any questions for Adam before we let him go? And do you think so when you max out your terms, are you gonna run for Senate or something, or what are you gonna do?
And I take care of my one job now. This is one of the three that we do. With the family business and everything else. Focus on this one hill at a time.
What are you doing in the carnival bit? Are you setting up what?
So no, my family, so my family got in this business back in the 50s. Actually, my grandfather did. So we've done it for a long time. They moved down to Bonita Springs in 57. So we had rides, we had games, but now we just deal with food. So we do food concessions. So we actually do cinnamon rolls. So we do cinnamon rolls. So we do two fairs in Michigan, Monroe, Michigan, and Midland, Michigan. So and then we do the state fair in Mississippi. So that's where I was for the last couple of weeks. So we do that.
Let me just ask one more question. So at the carnival, they're not doing the guessing your weight game anymore, because I used to hate that.
Oh, they do. Guess your age, weight, or birthday month within 2 pounds, within 3 pounds, within 2 months, or within 2 years.
Do they have that hammer thing where they hit the bell?
The high striker, of course.
Yeah, that's got to stay forever.
It's a very interesting.
Are any of those rigged?
No, not anymore. They used to be. But it's amazing that politics is actually pretty close to the carnival business. I would just say this, dressed a little nicer.
Especially in Washington. Holy
crap.
That's like I've grown up in this for a while. The basket and it pops back out. You're like, there has to be a spring under that damn
Somebody
basket.
in the back. Ron Fleming is here, and he's got a question for you, Adam. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I have two questions, neither of which have to do with fire. It's attention to detail. You're on record as supporting Governor DeSantis for president. Your website says you stand and support President Trump. So which is it?
All in with Ron DeSantis.
Why does your website say President Trump?
What website would that be? Would that be from
your official website?
The 20th?
Under issues, it says, and there again, a lack of attention to detail, I believe. My second question is, and this has to do with mosquito. According to Joanne Semmer, she had to file Freedom of Information Act to find out what was going on. Now, she's your constituent, and she claims you refused to speak with her. Do you not think that in your job, because you ask for questions, you post your cell number, she claims that you refused to speak with her?
I know she did reach out to our office, and I haven't returned her phone call, but I did call the director of Fort Myers Mosquito Control and did send him the copy of the bill that said, hey, we're considering this, want your input. And that's as far as we went. And I do have Joanne's number, and I will talk to her.
Again, this is
So follow-up to your follow-up.
Attention to detail. When the mosquito bill was first filed, it said Fort Myers Beach mosquito, when this takes effect, all assets and liabilities will be assumed by Bonita Beach Fire. I mean, don't you guys proofread what you do?
That's actually the beginning of the bill. That's not actually, it goes into law. It's underneath there, but it's just the synopsis on the top. And I admit that was a mistake. I apologize. Like I said earlier, if I make a mistake, I apologize. Do we need to put it to a referendum? Do we need to put a study?
Well, there again, I mean, you're proposing state law, but it seems to me nobody proofreads it. I mean,
all right, Ron. Thank you for participating.
No problem.
Yep. That I don't want to get into national politics, but
here we go.
No, but one question: if Ron DeSantis would just get indicted, he'd have a better chance to win the presidency. I mean, it seems like the whole thing is crazy.
That is a very good point.
The whole thing
Another
is
good point.
Crazy up there. So, anything else you want the folks on the beach to know about what you're doing up there in Tallahassee to bring us the money back in?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have a special session coming up in the next couple weeks, actually, to address Adelia's hurricane. Same thing like they did with us there. There's gonna be some addressing of Israel getting Floridians back to Florida, because our the federal level is not doing the right job. Luckily, we got a speaker there, a good gentleman from Louisiana. But we're going to keep working towards that. We're going to work on appropriations like we did last year, and that's going to be our main drive. And these bills, folks, this is not state law. This is a local bill. So when we come back, with this mosquito control, that is a local bill. It goes through the same process. Everything will be fleshed out and through that deal there. So, but like I said, if you have comments or concerns, reach out to our office. We'll make sure to get our websites matching our other one, my statements there. But come out and talk to me. I'll be here as long as you want.
Thank you very much, Adam Botana, for coming down. Adam, thank you, man. Appreciate it. He's always a good friend of the show, and we appreciate that very much. And anything you want to add before we bust out? I know you want to talk about the coffee, but I did want to let everybody know also that we appreciate Valerie's Lounge. They're a sponsor of the show. They're over across from the Walmart over there, and they're now smoke-free. So please stop by and see Valerie. They are open from 7 a.m. until 2 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 2. They have drink specials. They have charity bingo, karaoke, and the
karaoke.
Karaoke.
Good Lord.
Karaoke. On Tuesdays at 8:30. And the Flying Hasselhoffs. Does anybody remember?
The Flying Melendez?
Does anybody remember the name of the car?
Called.
Does anybody remember the name of the car in the TV show that David Hasselhoff was in? No, then
Kit.
what? Kit. That's right. Very nice.
I did somebody over here. I stole it from.
So the Flying Hasselhoffs are at Valerie's Lounge every Thursday night starting at 9 o'clock. So thank you, Valerie, for sponsoring the show. Thank you, Jorge, for sponsoring the show. Go ahead, dear. You got some coffee
So
there.
some friends of ours, Ed and Janelle, brought us back coffee that is packaged in Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
So I'm imagining this is going to be super fantastic
Yeah.
coffee.
Very
Kibo
nice.
AA. Yeah,
It
they
better be
wore
strong.
our
Yeah.
our shirts there.
We posted the picture. They were out on, looked like some lion safari adventure out there.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be going to Antarctica soon. And I said, please,
Wow.
if you're going to bring us back something, probably a penguin isn't the best thing to kind of bring back, but I mean, we'll do our best.
They go all the cool places.
I know. They
Today I'm
do.
leaving the house. We're going to Alva. So
Yes,
I'm going to feel my
yes.
oats out in Alva for a change. So,
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for showing up.
Don't forget, Mondays with the Mayor is this Monday night at 6:00. And we appreciate you all for all your support and for coming out to Wahoo Willie's and hosting the show. We will see you Monday night at 6:00. Look, dear, it's exactly 12 o'clock. Just the way you like it. 1 hour and no minute more. Thank you all and have a great weekend on Fort Myers Beach. Bye-bye.